Hey everybody, welcome to The Score. This is the 16th episode, I believe, of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's new podcast. Not new anymore. Well, I hope you guys still like it. It's not new and shiny, but I think you all are still listening, so that's awesome. So this week, we have another special guest. We have Whitney DeSalvo, who is the now back-to-back healing world champ in the WPRA. She is a hero to very many, even though she would never admit that, or she sure doesn't act like it.
No. Very humble.
She's very humble, and as you will hear, it comes out loud and clear without trying to in this interview. That's kind of one of the things that I've always loved about Whitney and has always just impressed me so much is how, she's not trying to be anything but the best she can possibly be. Mm-hmm. And she works so hard at it, and she's going to school, and she's hustling, and she's in the gym, and she's just doing everything she can be to be the next great healer, and not next great healer with anything before it, just the next great healer, period, and the next great healer that she can be. So I love it. I love Whitney. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you all to meet her because we've talked about her in print. I don't know if you've all ever listened to her talk or kind of heard her take on things, but it's pretty impressive.
Very sarcastic, too.
She is sarcastic. Well, she probably just teases you a lot.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I know. It's fine. I accept it.
No. So, no, I mean that, though. But I hope you enjoy listening to me talking to Whitney. She was getting ready for a college rodeo when we talked to her, and she's kind of you'll hear gates open and shut. She's bathing horses while we're talking. So it was kind of a riot.
There's no stopping.
There's no stopping. There's no stopping the hustle.
No.
So this Whitney DeSalvo. I hope you enjoy it, and I know we sure did. It was a blast to listen to and to visit with her and to kind of get her whole take on things. So enjoy, and I hope you all remember, please, I say this every time, I really mean it though, leave us a review on SoundCloud, Stitcher, or iTunes. It's important for folks to leave a review so we know what we're doing right and wrong, and then iTunes will rank us a little higher so more people can listen to it. So please leave us a review, and don't forget to visit usrider.org. That is our business partner when it comes to these podcasts, and they've just been great for us. So thank you all. How's it going? What are you doing?
I'm packing to go to a college rodeo.
College rodeos.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Where is the college rodeo this weekend?
Sykeston, Missouri.
Sykeston. Is it in the same place where they have the pro rodeo?
It is. We actually, they added it this year. This school over there, Three Rivers Community College added it and wanted to have it there, so it's pretty exciting. It's the first time we've been there. So.
Did you go? You didn't go to the pro rodeo in Sykeston this year, did you? Or?
No, because I didn't. I just saw my permit, and that's like card holder rodeos.
I see. Did you get your permit filled?
No. I quit after. I guess I probably went to like 8 rodeos, I think. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to very many. I went a little bit. I got close, I think, probably like $900.
Yeah. So it's just like the WPRA, right? You could just go win like another 100 next year and then buy your card.
Yeah, or if I wanted to just I guess I think it's whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough. I don't think.
No.
I don't think I haven't really paid much attention to it. I kind of just like I don't know, one of those spur of the moment deals was like, yeah, I'll just buy that card or that permit and see what happens. I didn't really put much thought into it or do much investigating on it before I did it. I just kind of was like, all right, yeah, I'll go.
All right, so let's back up for a second. You got to tell me, how did you become Whitney DeSalvo? When you were growing up, what was it like? How did you become who you are today? Like, how did you grow up? Was it just you and your mom, and who helped you along the way?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it was just me and my mom. We live literally right next door to my grandparents, so like I was really tight with my grandpa. He passed away last year, but he was always out there. We had we have an arena at the house that was my mom's arena when she was high school rodeoing. And
did your mom roped in high school rodeo and roped?
Yeah, she roped all up until she had me. That kind of ruined those plans for her, I'll bet. But yeah, this was our arena. I mean, they built it for her and one of my uncles. She has two brothers and a sister, and one of her brothers and her were the only ones that rodeoed. The other two didn't do anything, and we weren't even rodeo people. I don't really know. She's never really told me the story of how it happened, but like none of them rodeoed until them. So they kind of just did it, and my uncle rode bulls, and she roped and ran barrels and stuff. And then whenever I was younger, I just roped around there, like at the house. Funny story, but my mom or my grandpa, neither one, let me. I never got to run one off a horse. For a solid year, they made me rope the dummy.
That's awesome.
It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Were you roping the heeling? Were you roping like the hawks or
no? Hey, I didn't
sawhorse?
heel until I was probably. I entered my first rodeo in the breakaway when I was 9 years old. So they made me rope the dummy for my whole 8-year-old year. And then I never heeled the steer until I was probably 13.
Yeah.
14.
Did they let you dally at like 13 and 14? Were you dallying?
Yeah, I mean, I had to figure it out. Like they wouldn't just let me just get after it, you know. I mean, they dang sure made me figure it out. But I did. I had this little there's this guy that used to make this dummy. It was a wooden dummy. It plugged in plugged into the wall. It's called an electric roper. And I had one of them, and I'd set a saddle up about far enough away to where my rope went on the feet. Like whenever it would pull it back away from me, it would yank my rope out of my hand, and I'd just dally on it. and I'd sit in the garage and rope that thing forever on that saddle, like on just like a little saddle stand in there, just be roping it and let it yank it out of my hand and dally. And then the old tire swing trick that everybody used to use. I used to play with that a lot. But,
now, did you ever run barrels as a kid? Or did you skip that? You did? Is there footage?
It popped up on my memories the other day, pictures of me running barrels at Missouri Valley at the college rodeo.
Okay.
Freshman year. But I have footage and stuff from whenever I was younger, like junior high. I mean, if we're being honest, the pole bending was my thing. I ran the poles all through junior high and part of high school, but I did it for all around points, but I loved it. My horse was really good at it, but you also couldn't haul him. You couldn't haul him like an hour down the road without him tearing the trailer down. So I usually ended up pretty good. Like I usually was sitting around the top four, which is what goes to nationals. And I never entered the state finals because if I was to screw around and make it, I wouldn't have ever got my horse out there. I wouldn't have had a trailer left. So I did it for all around points all up until the state finals, and then I wouldn't enter state finals.
That's hilarious.
So, but yeah, I even tied goats a little bit. I'm sure that ended in junior high. I was 10. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So in junior high, were you already pretty sure you wanted to be one of the best healers there ever was? Or I mean, when did you decide that you wanted to do this for a living?
I was full-fledged breakaway roper.
Okay.
Until about college, really. I mean, I roped steers, but it wasn't like now. Like now, I feel like I'm full-fledged team roper that ropes calves. Then I was breakaway roper, 100%.
Well, what was kind of the changeover? What did it?
I guess something different. I kind of got burnt out. I amateur rodeoed when I was 13, 14. I don't know, probably up until right before college. My mom hauled me everywhere, all over to the CWA rodeos and ARA rodeos and UPRA rodeos and stuff. I mean, we went everywhere, every weekend. I never stopped. And I had a bunch of ups and downs because I kind of had a little bad attitude there for a while. And I didn't really know how to ride them, like the lows and stuff. And I think I just burned myself out. I went a bunch, like a lot when I was young. And I won a bunch in the breakaway. Like, one year I won Joe Beavers, the Rising Stars, and the Future Stars in the same year in the 13 to 15. Like I roped calves good then, way better than I do now, I feel like. But it's like the older I got, the worse I got. But I just wanted something different. Like, I felt like not as much as that I peaked at it, but I just felt like a change, I guess. I just kind of slowly went to heeling more and roping calves less, and ended up those 2 years that I took off from college, I didn't rope one calf. I went to the college finals in 2015 in the breakaway and didn't rope another calf until I came back to school last year. Not one.
Really?
So, yeah. So, it's been, I haven't really paid much attention to the change, but it's a pretty decent one.
Who helped you when you decided you were going to be a healer? Who was kind of responsible for guiding you? Or did you figure it out on your own and just kind of piece it together? Or?
No, I would go, Mom and Lori and Brandon Thone were really tight. And I already handled my rope really good because I went and I would go we have some really good friends, Haroldine and Shelly McCain. He IRA rodeoed, made the IRA finals a bunch, and roped calves. So he had me roping really good. I handled my rope really good. And just wanted to heal, so they got me this old horse. He was just a horse, but you never had to do anything. You just swung your rope and healed the feet. That's it. And I went to Britt Buckus school. Britt Buckus and Doyle Gellerman. And I went there and Britt stayed with Lori and Brandon for a week. That week that I went, and I stayed with them a few days before, and then went to that school, and that kind of started me up. But then I don't think I ever really got it. I healed, I entered and I healed, but I don't think I ever figured out how to catch until Jackie had that all-girl school with Rich Skelton. It was 4 or 5 years ago at Rich's house. And that was when I was staying with Jackie a lot. And I went over there. And that's when I kind of figured out how to catch. It kind of made sense to me then. And it just got better from there, I think. But those two, and then just roping a bunch. I didn't ever go just stay with somebody that healed. And I stayed with Jackie, and I stayed with Larry D a little bit, and I stayed with Jackie, but I didn't go with somebody that just all they did was heal. Those schools helped me a bunch.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this podcast is supported by U.S. Rider, the premier equestrian roadside assistance program in the industry. You've heard me talk about it every episode since the start, and now I want to give you a promo code so you all can subscribe and save money too. You get 14 months for the price of 12 with the promo code PC718. That is P as in Paul, C as in Cat, 718. You only get it if you're listening to The Score. This is a Score exclusive promo code.
So head on over to usrider.org and subscribe. So for somebody, though, who doesn't like to do interviews, like you always tell me, you've kind of put yourself in a position where you have to do a lot of them.
Yeah.
Are you getting more comfortable talking to people about being a badass? Am I allowed to say that? I think I am. It's my podcast.
Yeah, I guess you are, but I don't know. I mean, that was probably a little over the top. But yeah, I was actually telling that one of the guys that hauls with me to the college rodeos, he was, we were getting shavings just a minute ago, and I told him, I was like, you're going to have to go in, I think, in case she calls me in a second. And he was like, are you nervous? Do you get nervous about that? And I was like, no, it's much better whenever it's with somebody that you know than it is with somebody. He's like, well, don't screw up and all this and that. I mean, usually, I'd have been drawed up about it last night. If 2 years ago, I'd have been throwing up or something. I don't know. I don't like it, but it's getting better.
Good. Well, what goals do you have left? I mean, you've kind of, as far as the all girls, you've won everything there is to win, correct? True.
All but
false?
the U.S. finals.
All but the U.S. finals. Are you heading at the U.S. finals this year?
I was, but I sold my head horse, so I backed out on my partners, and then I ended up getting. I was heading for Hope and Riley.
For Hope?
Smith. Yeah, me and Hope are swapping ends, and and Riley Smith. I was gonna head for both of them, and I saw some kid. I sold my head horse to some kid, and I just felt bad. I was like, I don't have nothing good to ride out there to put that money up or drive all the way out there. And I didn't really have any runs. I didn't want to. I'm in a spot in school to where I can't miss a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And so I haven't been going like hardly any. And I couldn't miss 2 weeks like I did last year. My classes are different than it was last year. I missed like 10 days in a row. Mm-hmm. From the WPRA finals to the end of the U.S. finals, but my class schedule was way different, and I'm down to so like little classes left that mm-hmm. I can't pick an easy fall semester, even though I know it's the worst semester for me. I barely squeak by every time.
Are you in sports psychology? What's your degree in? Sports management?
Exercise science.
Oh, exercise science. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So. But I wanted to head there. I ended up getting, it sucks because I ended up getting a horse like 2 weeks ago. That gray mm-hmm. horse that I've rode a little bit. Mm-hmm. I ended up finally getting to buy him, and you head on him, but they mm-hmm. already found runs, so I'm just not going. Maybe next time.
Who do you have at the World Series finale?
Honestly, I have no one.
Nobody wanted you to rope at the World Series finale?
Yeah, I haven't even. I'm on the fence. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna even go. Like, I might. They talked. Hope and Lady called me about the all girl the other day. We were talking about it. I don't really know what's going on with it. When they moved my number, all my runs changed, and I never went, and I never really tried to find it anymore. To be real honest.
Do you like? Does it bug you that your number gets raised? We've talked about this a little bit before. Is that a...
No, I mean, that's the whole reason, like, I'm going. Like, I don't want to just keep going forever and never feel like I've gotten any better.
Better.
When it, I guess, deserves to be raised, then I feel like I should be raised. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't scare me to be up there or have it that high, I guess. But mm-hmm. That's how I've always thought. Like, when I was younger, I wanted to be like a 9. Like, I thought that was so cool. Even though mm-hmm. like the closer you get to it, the more you're like, man, you just can't rope anymore whenever you get like that. Like, I can't jackpot really, and it's hard to win at the World Series like that. But I'm still not mm-hmm. mad about it, I guess. That's part of it.
So are you a straight 7?
7 elite.
7 elite now. Gotcha.
Yeah, right after Reno, they raised me again.
Man.
Yes.
So with like some of the all girls being capped and just having like limited jackpotting opportunities, you bought your permit, you have like 901 on your permit. What other goals are next kind of beyond the jackpotting all girl level?
I had plans. I roped with Dylan Rucker last year at those 8 or 10 that we went to, and he and I talked about circuit rodeo next year, and I think I'm gonna go Great Lakes next year and go just try to make the circuit finals. Or I mean, that's the goal right now, is just to try to make the circuit finals and see if I can even make it out there doing all that. I mean, those rodeos are way up there in the Great Lakes. Like that's a minute from here.
What did you learn about yourself and about your healing last year when you tried it, like in those 10 rodeos? Anything, or same old, or what do you need to get better at?
Honestly, like I had healed at like some amateur rodeos. Like I made the amateur finals here in Arkansas a few years ago healing. So I had been like rodeoing, and it helped like it helped that like at the one of the partners I had last year at the college rodeos was really good, and like everything was sharp. So I kind of got to where I could sharpen myself up, and I rope with guys a bunch that rodeo a lot. So I get to look at that a lot, and it kind of speeds me up a little bit. But I really had to. I mean, I had to work on being ready. I mean, when you jackpot all the time and then you go to rodeos, unless like you're just some freak, you're not ready. 10 out of 10 steers, you're not going to be ready for somebody that ropes 3 coils back when the neck rope comes off. And so that was my biggest thing, is I really had to hustle. Like I didn't realize it was going to be so hard for me to transition over into that, but I had to work at it. Like I had to practice like that every day, whether it was, if I couldn't rope with one of those guys that do that, I would have like somebody like Maddie or something put it on in the chute and just like spin them back in the latch, like every like 10, 15 steers a day, just put it on the chute and just soon as she got to the mouth of the box, just stick it on there and spin them back so I could be ready. But it took me a minute like practicing, but at the rodeos I was always ready. Like we made some good runs, and I think I messed up on one of them. I roped one leg somewhere for money, and then Dylan had a little trouble at a few of them, and we didn't play so well. But I never got my pants jerked down, or I never messed up. Like I never messed up like my part. Like I did everything besides that one. I did everything I was supposed to do. So I mean, it worked out, but it wasn't easy for a minute. That's for sure. But
how do you feel like your position in the industry? Like, are you self-aware? Do you ever think about like about your role in the industry, like as a role model for younger girls, and then also as somebody who, is trying to step up and compete with the guys? Do you think about your spot where you are in the industry, or like,
no, not really. I'm just trying to stay afloat, and
that's awesome.
I don't ever look at it as that's. I was kind of thinking about that. I was actually thinking you're probably going to ask me that because, at first I thought it was, when I was younger, it was all about like, okay, well, who's the best girl healer and it's Jimmy Joe or Annette. They're the highest numbered. Well, I want to be that. Well, I mean, when you get to a certain point, you want to go like I got to where it was beyond that. Like I was beyond wanting to be the best girl. I wanted to be the best healer I could possibly be. Whether I mean I'm not saying I'll ever be able to be like a 10 or a 9, even an 8. I may stay here the rest of my life, I don't know, but I mean that's not what I'm trying to do. It's not about being the top girl healer to me anymore. It was whenever I was younger, but once I got to this spot, I was learning from those girls. I was always asking them for help, but once you get eye level with something like that, you have to go. If you want to get better, you have to go out. And that's what Larry D told me. She said nobody that she said, I can't help you with your healing anymore than you already know. She said, if you want to be a good healer, you need to go to a Jade Corkle or a Paul Eves or a good healer. And so that's when I started branching out and realizing that I could probably be better than what I set my set the bar too for myself. And
the guys have been pretty receptive, like Jade and Paul. Everybody's been like pretty supportive of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've helped me a bunch. And like Ryan, I roped with Ryan a bunch. Ryan's one of my favorites. He ended up, he heads at a bunch of those jackpots. We ended up roping together at a bunch of jackpots. But I would go to his house whenever I was over at Paul's working for him, and they helped me a bunch. Like I roped with Dakota some. Trying to think. Shay, I was at Shay's.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, and they helped me, and they didn't back up, like treat me like, oh, like this is a girl healing. Like they like talk to me like they would about, or they explained stuff to me the same way they would anybody, anybody else. Like they just looked at like, okay, she's on this level. Well, we're gonna do it like this. Not, oh, this is a girl, so we're gonna back off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it was, okay, well, she's a 7 healer, so I mean, we can go about things this way. And I really put my horses, my horsemanship between Shay's and like Paul's and Moats' really changed. Like it helped me a bunch. I figured out that roping is about 90% that and 10% where you throw your rope.
Mm-hmm. And Becky has been like, how responsible is Becky for you being now a 7 elite? How much did she make a difference in your roping?
A lot more than I ever, probably either one of us thought she would. She was green. Like she wasn't green, but I mean, she'd never been really anywhere. She was good, but she,
and for the people who haven't read everything we've written about Becky, tell me, just give us her full background there.
Okay, so she is 7 this year. I got her when she was 5, coming 6, and from a friend of mine here in Arkansas, and he started her and trained her, did everything. Sure. He jackpotted on her just a little bit, but I wanted her, and he wouldn't sell her to me. He was like, "No, you don't need her. She's not ready." Well, a few months later, I was like, "Hey, how about that horse?" And he was like, "I think she's ready." And he helped me out on her a bunch, and I ended up buying her. I needed one, and I just went to hauling her. We did have a rough patch where I didn't ride her very much, like where I couldn't figure out, like she'd get a little bit strong, but for the most part, I mean, I won every time I swung the leg over her, and it was because she was great. She was a great horse, but she was still just green enough. If I was to screw up, she wouldn't. She didn't read it. So she's real forgiving, and she still is right now. She stops super hard. She's strong to the horn, and she's real fast. But she's not one to get tight. She's not one to. You can put her wherever you want. She's gonna do the same thing. Like she doesn't. She's the same trip. It don't matter if you run 100.
Well, when she was hurt this year, it was the beginning of this year, right?
Yeah, it was.
How
December,
much?
I guess it was right before Vegas last year. Like literally 2 weeks before Vegas. So
how did like not having her remind you how important she was? I guess.
It did quite a bit, but then again, like I got pretty lucky with that little horse Tootsie Roll that I rode. I rode her at. I ended up riding her at Vegas that year, or this past year. That's when me and Hope were like 4th high call in the 12.
Yeah.
And she's good. Like you don't ever have to ride her. She's like 17. I never practiced on her. Like I think the only time I've run practice steers on her was at your house before the college finals. And she's the same thing. She's fast. She'll get a little tight, but she's still easy. She's just a winner. So that helped me. But I mean, I dang sure missed her. Like I can't ride that horse a whole lot. Like I don't. she's not 100% sound. And she is older, so I have to really pick and choose. Like I rode her at the U.S. finals. I rode her at the U.S. finals at Vegas, and then I rode her at the Patriot, and then I didn't ride her again until probably the college finals in the heeling. So, I mean, I felt it in the sense of I couldn't go very much with her being down, and I all I had was her. Well, I didn't get to heel very much because I mean, I don't just ride or like run the legs off of Becky, but I could still practice on her. Like I can run 5 or 6 for myself a day on her, and she's still fine. This other one, you can't ride as much. So it really slowed me down.
Yeah. I see. Well, are you now? You're roping calves and heeling at the college rodeos, right? How's your season going so far?
Me and my partner, I'm roping with Slayton Taylor. He goes to school here with me, and he and I are winning the region right now. Not by much, but we've run 6 and we've caught 6 steers. I've made a bauble or 2. He's been spot on. He spun me 6 steers to win money. I've screwed up a few of them, but we've still managed to place somewhere at all 3 rodeos. So we're winning the region, and I'm like top 10 in the breakaway. The breakaway's real tight. Like there's 50 points separating. I'm 9th or 10th, and there's 50 points separating me from first. So like it's real tight. It's been real spotty. But I actually started when I got back from Reno. I started breakaway on Becky, and that's what I've been riding. I've always wanted to, and I've never done it. I ride that little sorrel in the breakaway usually, and man, she's tight, and I don't rope like I used to. I mean, I gotta have something real forgiving, and that little sorrel barely lets me throw. And I mean, I look stupid. So I started roping calves on her, and man, she's good. Like she don't score the best right now because I mean, her whole life all she's done is throttle right there on the gates and stay off the corner a little bit. And so I mean, it's been different trying to get her to score, sit in the corner and stay in my hand. So I've had to work on that a little bit. But in the field, like you can't beat her hardly. Like she runs and lets me throw and waits until I ask her to stop. I've made 2 of the 3 short rounds. I placed at 2 rodeos and I messed up. I was 1 or 2 holes out at the last one, so I missed the barrier. But I did everything. She's done everything right, so it's been good.
Nice. All right. Well, did you get a spot in the rope for the crown in Vegas this year in the breakaway?
I did not.
Not yet.
Honestly, LD just called me yesterday and was quizzing me because she's always making sure I'm on top of my stuff. Like, did you get your 2 spots for the American yet, or did you get your WCRA deal? Have you been nominating? She's
yeah. Have you been nominating in the WCRA?
I have not nominated or entered a qualifier since Reno.
Oh,
but I'm in there. I got some. I got some points, so I'm in there in the breakaway. Like I'm in the top 40 or so, and they taken 150. So I don't see. It may happen, but I don't think there's even. I don't think it's full at 150. So I think I'm all right there. And I entered those qualifiers at Reno, but I decided that I wasn't gonna enter another qualifier until I had Becky going in the breakaway, so I could have something that'd let me throw my rope. So she's going. So I entered the side part at the WPRA finals, and then Larry D has a roping at Hamilton Sunday after the WPRA finals. So I'm gonna enter that one too. See if I can. I don't know. I may have done right on waiting because everyone I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to get a spot right now because like Kelsey and Jackie and Cassidy and Lady and Hope and the Gray girls and all that, they all have their 2 spots.
They're filled up already, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, 90% of the ones that are going to be real hard to beat have their 2 spots. So, I may have timed it right. I don't know, but still got to catch, I guess. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, you did good, Whitney. For somebody who doesn't like to do interviews, you really are getting good at this.
Well, I'm glad you've got me practiced up, I guess.
I know. I don't leave you alone.
Yeah. But it's fine. Between you and Caitlin.
We just, do our best. Do our best to get you ready for one of these days you're going to give up on us and, talk to real important journalists. And
yeah, no. This is... Y'all are the top end for me. I'm thinking I'm just gonna stop right there. Yeah.
Good. That's what I like to hear. All right. Good luck this weekend. Kick their butts.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. Thank you all for listening so much. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.